Hi guys, welcome to the Pine Martins class story, which is
The
World's Best Teachers, it says on the book. Right, okay, we are still finishing off Miss Seed's detention rampage. She has put everyone, including herself, in detention. And then she's had an argument about it with herself. Let's recap. Silence descended over the overcrowded classroom. All eyes turned to the deputy head, who was standing at the door, wrestling with this thought. After a few moments, she spoke. "Miss Seed," announced Miss Seed. "Yes, Miss Seed," replied Miss Seed. "I hereby give you detention." "Me?" "Yes, you. But I'm the deputy head of this school. You can't give me detention." "Oh, yes, I can, for I am the deputy head of this school. Now, get in there. Shoo, shoo, shoo." With that, Miss Seed held up her stick and prodded and poked herself into the classroom. Now there was even less room in there than before, and people started to grumble. "Can't you wait until the next train? Stop picking my nose. I'm terribly sorry, I thought it was mine." Miss Seed closed the classroom door behind her. Thump. "Right, now everyone, settle down," she called out. "You try and settle down in here," called back Miss Stint. "There are 30 bottoms for every chair." "Some of these bottoms are too large for just one." "Right," announced Seed, determined to gain control of the classroom. She clambered up Miss Stint as if the elderly headmistress was a ladder. "Would you mind awfully removing your foot from my head?" asked the headmistress. Holding on to her stick tightly, Miss Seed then crowd-surfed her way over the top of everyone's head. "I am setting us all lines," she announced as the wave of hands passed her around the room like a beach ball. "I must not complain about being given a detention, or I will be given another detention." No one could write a thing. There wasn't any room to move your elbow. "We can't, it's impossible. Are you bananas?" Undeterred, Miss Seed crowd-surfed her way over to the cabinet in the corner to fetch some paper. She stood on top of it and addressed the entire school. "I want you all, I mean us all, to write it out 1,000,000 times, she barked. "I am not doing it," Seed replied to herself. "1 billion then," she snapped back, rotating her walking stick over her head. "I said no. 1 trillion. No. 1 zillion. Never. 1 gazillion. No, no, no." As she argued with herself, her walking stick revolved faster and faster and faster and faster still. There she is surfing with her walking stick. Look like it's a good ending. Seed was now spinning her stick above her head at such speed that she was actually starting to take off like a helicopter. Her feet left the cabinet and she sent herself crashing through the roof of the classroom. Smash! The teacher hurtled through the sky. Everyone looked up through the seed-sized hole in the ceiling to see her whizzing through the clouds, still rotating her stick above her head. "Detention!" bellowed Miss Seed at a pigeon that flew past her. Squawk. Her voice echoed across the sky until it was heard no more. "Well, that feels better," sighed Mrs. Epoch. "Oh yes," murmured everyone else in agreement. "Now, let's party," announced Miss Stint. "Yes," cried the entire school. They all tumbled out of the classroom and followed the headmistress down the corridor back into the hall where all the yummy cakes and jellies and pies were still waiting for them. Hooray! Miss Stint was the last to leave the party, way past midnight. The events of the day had perked her up no end. There was a karaoke and she treated the school to a performance of her favourite hip-hop track. MC Stint on the mic, Royal High. Let me hear you say, way-oh! That's the worst way ever. As for Miss Seed, no one knew where she landed, if indeed she ever did. So if you find an angry old lady lying in a ditch or waggling a walking stick above her head and barking detention at you, approach with extreme caution. Whatever you do, don't stick a stamp on Miss C's forehead and post her back to Ryle High. They do not want their deputy head back, ever. There's a picture of her whirling off. And there she is in the ditch. Right, join us tomorrow for our next instalment.